everybody. I'm Lee Cade, and this is Vinny. Today, we're continuing on with our Voices of Valley series, where we go and talk to different people around Valley Behavioral Health, of course, the Pingree Center, the Adult Autism Center, and Highland Springs Specialty Clinic. We just want to talk to the people who make Valley such an incredible place. And today, we're joined by Cheryl Christie. She's a therapist at the ValleyWest program. How are you today?
I am doing well. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing so great. I'm so happy to talk to you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while, but I always enjoy talking with you. It's
Well,
always
thank you.
fun.
You're a therapist at ValleyWest. How long have you been with the company?
So I've actually been with ValleyWest for I think 2 years and 9 months. So come upon 3 years real soon in
Real soon.
September. Yes.
And prior to ValleyWest, were you with Valley or were you working for another company?
Actually, I was doing my internships. Mostly it was in substance abuse, so it was addiction psychological services. So I worked there doing my internships, but I actually was working for DCFS during the
Okay.
time I was in school for the CPS.
How long have you been working in direct care?
Let me go back way back,
Okay.
in terms of helping people out. So for years, I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and I worked for my church. I was a women's ministry leader who counseled women or family, or we did families. So I did that for probably 3 to 4 years. And after leaving or not doing that anymore, I actually work for Utah State University, the Salt Lake County Extensions program, in a mentoring program for youth and families, which was pretty awesome. And I worked there for like approximately about 2 years. I feel like I've always kind of worked with people. Then I kind of went into like residential leasing, helping people find nice apartments. And I work for a commercial leasing company, but it always led back to me working with people, is what I've done for most of my years. It was always going in that direction. And I'm going to tell you where that stems from. It stems from like 12th grade in my psychology class. I said, I want to be a psychologist. I don't know, it just did something. I knew that I wanted to study about people and to know a little bit more about people. I was very fascinated with it, and I said, I'm going to be a psychologist. Well, I didn't make it to psychologist. I am a counselor and I love it. I love what I'm doing. I love working with people. I love assisting because
Mm.
people have to do the work.
Right.
I love assisting people learn to have a more meaningful life or just to do good in life or whatever they're looking for. The reward is when they can find whatever that thing is. And I do it because it's a part of me. I feel like we need to live our best lives. And if I can assist in helping people, and it doesn't matter where that is, if I can help people do that, I want to help. And I love it because I really what I figured out along the road is people figure that out. I also do it because what I do is because I know that people want to be listened to. I think for the majority of people, period, whether you're in counseling or what you're doing, you just want somebody to listen to you, to validate what you're feeling, and to watch people or to see people grow from just that simple thing of somebody listening to them. Because again, it's the client who's doing most of the work. So if they can get out, talk about those things inside of them, then they're able to help figure out for themselves, like, what do I need to do to fix this, or what do I need to do to go to another level?
You're just helping them find the tools.
I'm helping them find the tools,
That's
and
awesome.
I love it.
I love that you love it. When people
I
are
do.
fired up and passionate about what they're doing, that
Yeah.
is the greatest gift in the world, I
Yeah.
think. So now you work at Valley West, and I know that we have an emphasis on family programs there. We have adult programs and children's programs. Which do you work with?
I right now work with adult programs,
Okay.
and I've enjoyed it. And at Valley West, in the adult program, we work with many. It's diverse in clients as well as diagnoses. So it's anywhere from anxiety to bipolar, schizophrenia, whatever. I mean, there are many diagnoses I've been afforded to help people with. And I'm going to tell you that one of the things I've learned too that goes along with which is what I just shared. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. Everybody wants to be listened to.
Hmm.
Everybody, and it doesn't matter. And I think that's what I've loved working at Valley is the the population that's at Valley West, that the extent of the population there is like given me the opportunity to grow as a therapist, being at a Valley West clinic, to learn more about my skills, to challenge my skills, to want to do better. But it's been great working there and working with the people at Valley West. The staff it's amazing. The coordinating of care that we do, like case management, med providers, whatever it may be, it has been a great experience.
Definitely a lot of moving parts for sure.
Lots of moving parts, yeah.
One of the things that I find fascinating, especially at Valley West, is there's such a diverse population of folks there receiving care. One of the things that I want to help with in the future is removing barriers to care. What do you see being some of the bigger barriers to care or accessing care, the clientele there at Valley West? Whether it's the availability of care or being able to find care, or in some cases, I've heard of some folks that just work such long hours at their jobs that by the time they're able to take time to access care, a clinic is closed because they might be in the service industry or.
Well, I guess now that we have telehealth, right?
Oh, yeah.
That has since COVID, that's basically what I have been doing, and I find it to be okay.
Hmm.
And a lot of the clients are enjoying it. And I know that we have, I'm not, I'm more so sure with the children's therapy, they've been more flexible, like late hours. I even know clinicians working on Saturdays. I think with telehealth, though, it's been a huge asset too for Valley West.
It has been a bit of a boon, hasn't it? I
Hmm.
I always forget about telehealth. That was towards the end of my time in direct care. Telehealth was coming into focus there. If you were in a situation where you met somebody who was considering a future in clinical service, in helping people like you're doing, right now we have almost a vacuum of young therapists that want to go into public service like you're doing. You're
Hmm.
caring for people who desperately need help and not going into private service, which you could do anytime. What would you do to encourage them to do as you've done, follow in your footsteps and provide these vital services to a very fragile population?
What I have loved that about what I've done, I like for most of my internships, I did substance abuse and learning more about that. But Valley West presented me the opportunity to have the diverse populations diagnosis. It helped me to learn to be a better clinician, to be more empathetic to people with diagnoses that I wasn't even aware of, or
Right.
so sure, I didn't know much about, but it's given me the awareness. Valley Behavioral Health has given us many opportunities for training. I can't say enough about that. It's busy, but it's doable. And I think what really sold me, after doing all the internships and working and having to work Saturdays and evenings, working at Valley West gave me the opportunity to work 9 to 5,
Hmm.
just a normal working hours. Like it's been refreshing, especially if you've been in school, you've had these internships and working too all those hours. You just kind of want a simple schedule. And I feel like Valley West gave that to me.
We're going to do a little experiment here. If you were in a position where you could make changes to the industry that we work in right now, what would you do that would allow us to provide better services or even better services to our clientele?
First of all, I think there's a need for more clinicians,
Hmm.
So that would be like the first thing that I think would be helpful to our clients because what I hear is therapists are kind of limited, in Utah, but there's a lot of work to be done. And there are people working, but the work people that are working hard. But I just wish that there was more help in helping people so that I'm not saying me or anybody else, but maybe so that a therapist doesn't get burnt out,
Hmm.
and to do more with the clients at hand. But I think that's a big need. So that would be like one of the number one things I would do. But and also just if I could just do something different, I would just like somehow, some way, just tell people to take a shot at just the variety of things that you can do and care for people.
It really is extraordinarily hard work, but I know from my own experience that there is nothing like the feeling when something clicks for somebody that you're working with or they have a victory. and that's their victory, but you know you were part of that. And I
Yeah.
think there's no feeling like it. So,
There's none. There's a lot of clients, but I had the opportunity for clients who came out of our Valley Phoenix program that came
mm,
into our ValleyWest program and collaborating with DCFS and FRC parents, kids, whatever. And I had the opportunity to watch them go through this full ride of, doing everything they needed to get a FRC is what like I guess they used to call it drug court, and getting custody back of their kids, getting out of that court system and really flourishing. I tell people, and I can't share enough of this, just how I'm in awe of some of the transformations that have happened and the things that are happening in their life because they made a turnaround. To me, the most important thing about people is self acceptance, for each client being able to accept themselves for where they are. And I'm telling you, it's been like miracles watching these women go through these programs. And I'm not saying they're like, it's not going to be 100% for, but
no,
it's a good percentage of these women who have come out and turned their lives around. And I get to see them flourish and the things that are coming into their life because of their change. To me, it's like a miracle watching. So that's been a real highlight of working at ValleyWest.
I bet. And it seems, every success is a success, right? As simple as that
Every
sounds. That's one more than we had.
Yeah. It could be as simple as somebody with ADHD understanding a little more about their diagnosis, getting on the right medications to help them. That's a success
Yeah,
and doing great. There's a lot of successes there. Lots of it you get to see. I guess that's what I get out of it.
I can see that being really, really rewarding. So,
Yeah.
what's next for you, Cheryl?
Well, as probably know, our clinic is kind of like, and I'm going to stay at Valley West. And so a part of now I get the opportunity to work with families. So that's going to be I've done some, but it's going to be something different compared to just working with adults, but looking
Right.
at it in a family structure and being able to be a part of that. And I'm not sure what that entails, what it's going to entail, but I'm looking forward to it.
It seems like it's going to be a more holistic approach to family care, which I love.
Yes.
Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us today. I love your insight.
Thank you, Lee. And I appreciate you always. And you're always so smiley and happy. You just make it easy for people.
Thanks so much,
All
Cheryl. Have a
right.
great day.
Thank you, Lee.